وبركاته. أصحاب المعالي، أصحاب السعادة، السيدات والسادة الحضور، بشكركم طبعا على وجودكم معانا النهارده، وإن احنا فعلا متشرفين في افتتاح الدورة الرابعة للمؤتمر الدولي الرابع لأمن المعلومات والأمن السيبراني. بنشرف إن أنا أكون مع حضراتكم. اسمحوا لي هاخد دقائق قليلة من وقت حضراتكم بعد ما بعتذر لضيوفنا الكرام على التأخير اللي حصل في بداية الجلسة الافتتاحية، فعذرا، ولكن إن شاء الله في خلال برنامجنا هنحاول إن احنا نعوض هذا التأخير. خليني أبتدي وهستأذنكم إن البرزنتيشن هتكون باللغة الإنجليزية. وعايز أسأل السؤال الأول هو why we are here. We gathered today at caisec 25 not simply because cybersecurity is critically important, that truth is self-evident to everyone in the street, but because we have quickly moved from incidents to inflection points, from isolated breaches to systemic risks that can ripple across borders, sectors, and daily life in minutes. Let me start with 4 snapshots that happened in 4 consecutive months last year by the end of the year. These major incidents reveal why caisec made the most consequential security conference this year. First snapshot is North America's healthcare takeover last September. 76 hospitals and 800 outpatient centers were infiltrated, not to encrypt data, but to explore the clinical data. For 24 days, the adversary studied infusion pump firmware and ventilator management consoles. Investigators later confirmed they could have altered medication dosages across multiple states by remote command. The second snapshot was a month later, namely the Trans-European grid breach. For 17 silent days, a nation-state actor sat inside the operation technology networks of 3 countries' power providers. They mapped substations, placed time by force, and used rotating proxies hidden in common cloud services. When a German SOC analyst finally saw a string of anonymous commands, the attackers already had the keys to synchronize blackouts spanning an entire region. And then we heard what happened this year in France and Spain and Portugal. A month later, came the North European financial infrastructure coordinated attack against the interbank settlement infrastructure connecting major financial institutions across 3 countries. The clearinghouse systems that process high-value transactions was the target, and the attackers remained covered for 19 days. 1 month later, the East Mediterranean energy triple hits of 3 interlinked facilities took place and continued for 22 undetected days. The figures matter that I'm talking about today. A single dormant payload sat in a firmware to interrupt regional supply at the peak of winter demand. It was found during a routine check. These aren't war stories. They are cautionary signals aimed at us. Power grids, hospitals, LNG terminals, clearinghouse settlement systems, the connective tissue of modern society are now fair game. And with AI-assisted reconnaissance, the time between enter and escalate is collapsing. There are some numbers that we need to keep us all awake. Targeted attacks on mega-critical infrastructure grew 214% in the last 18 months. 214. 37% of regional organizations suffered destructive attacks beyond simple theft. Average adversary dwell time in our networks, 48 days. This is why I was telling you the numbers matters. This is more than double the world average. In finance alone, we saw 76% more attacks than the global baseline. Behind these statistics are human lives, economic stability, and national credibility. They also expose the anatomy of the adversary pool. Nation-state entities vying for geopolitical leverage, financial crime syndicates, they are piggybacking on our digital transformation route, hacktivists seeking headlines around mega projects. Ransomware is a service groups that now publish many editions of their malware kits. Our double-edged momentum, Egypt is sprinting ahead on every digital metric that matters, and so are the countries of the region. But for Egypt, more than 150 e-government services are live today. Broadband penetration went up 60% in 3 years. Fintech adoption compounding at 30% annually.